You get what you deserve, white boy.
The two suspects ran away, and the 8th grader put the fire out with the shirt off of his back. He spent several hours in the Children's Mercy burn unit.
You could smell the burnt skin, you could smell the burnt hair, it just smelled, that's horrible.
So
Coon says that
where's President Barack Obama to talk about how this 13-year-old, is he going to make a speech about this 13-year-old who was set on fire? I just want to ask, because there are people like Al Sharpton who are determined to make this a race issue, this whole Trayvon Martin thing, which I don't think it is. But people are screaming and crying and making this about a race, all of this and freaking it. There have been a rash of break-ins. And they interviewed one of the black neighbors as well, and she was like, "Yeah, a lot of the break-ins, it's a mixed neighborhood. Some of this has been, black criminals coming in and doing this. This is one of the black women that lived in the neighborhood," and she was like, "Yes, it's not a race issue, and if it is, then where's justice for this 13-year-old that was set on fire? Where's justice for the 40 victims in Chicago last weekend who were shot up by gang members?" Now, no one talks about that. You should see what the Miami Herald did to this kid's photo. Now, I don't know anything about Trayvon Martin. I think it's, someone was talking about he was suspended from school for 5 days. He wasn't the perfect student. Well, you know what? Other people are suspended, so that doesn't really, I'm not really into that. It's irrelevant. If he wasn't, if by all accounts, unless they can prove that he was there up to no good, then I don't think that people should assume that somebody was guilty if they weren't. That being said, this, Sharpton down there, Farrakhan down there now at this point. This Miami Herald, I can't believe what they did to his photo. Dan Riehl found the original, where the one where he's got the hood up, the original photo of Trayvon Martin, and he looks like a 17-year-old. I mean, he's a big 17-year-old kid. He's a football player. What do you expect? But the Miami Herald photoshopped his photo. I can tell they adjusted the curves. They adjusted the contrast. I do Photoshop. They lightened his photo, and they completely photoshopped his face. He looks lighter in the photo that the Miami Herald ran. Now, the reason I point that out is when Beyonce did a cosmetics ad, they photoshopped her, and they accused her as though she was in there color correcting herself, and that's actually what they call it. It's a process in Photoshop where you color correct photos and you correct the white balance and you correct the reds and the neutrals and everything else. They went after her as though she did it, and went after the cosmetics company because they said they lightened her up. Now I just point that out because it's really interesting to me that the Miami Herald did that to this photo. I mean, they photoshopped it beyond all get out. But let's not freak out and especially, like I said, you got a 13-year-old boy that was set on fire by a bunch of teenagers. You want to talk about, if we're going to try to make this a race issue, what about the white 13-year-old that was set on fire? What about the gang members that shot up 40 people, including a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old, killed a 6-year-old in Chicago just this past weekend? I mean, this is ridiculous. And Barack Obama getting involved in this? Is he going to get involved with the 13-year-old that was set on fire? Is Barack Obama going to say anything about the massive casualties and shootings that occurred in his hometown this past weekend? He sees it as being politically advantageous, and he needs this to be a race issue because he needs it to help win re-election. They're going to stoke this any way they can. This administration. Unbelievable.
Here's my question. I've been listening to talk radio all day long today, and they're trying to make this Zimmerman issue about race, but Zimmerman's not white. I mean, if anything, he's half white. His mother, I believe, is Hispanic. His father is Jewish. What does that make our president? Is our president white, too?
Well, I mean, the whole situation, I've actually seen, and I'm going to be writing about this on Big Journalism over at Breitbart.com here in a little while, is that there were media entities that immediately framed it as black versus white. And it's a mixed community. And, it's only 49% white. They said it was a predominantly white community, which was a lie. They said that it was a white versus black issue, which was another lie. And I don't know what's worse. Honestly, Al Sharpton going down there and Louis Farrakhan trying to incite, violent tendencies over what happened, or the media, and I appreciate the call, Michael, or the media fabricating stuff about this. I mean, this is insane. I mean, it's just, I don't, wait till you see the story about what the Miami Herald did. That's all I'm going to say.